Hello, Assalamu alaikum, peace be on all. This is Moel from the Philosophical Muslim channel and the Moel channel on YouTube. So recently I had a discussion with Yaqeen Banda on his YouTube channel, discussing why should one believe in Islam. During the discussion, a topic was brought up called the Divine Covenant. So pretty much I didn't really get a chance when I watched the video. I didn't get a chance to explain it on a profound level, because obviously we kept going off on tangents, chasing a rabbit trail, and things were pretty much out of hand sometimes. You know, it was a fun discussion nonetheless. I'm not trying to bad mouth it or anything like that, and I wouldn't mind going back on the show. He's a really nice guy, and I enjoyed discussing nonetheless, even though it was exhausting at one time, at some moments. But to get to the point is this: the Divine Covenant is simple. It's trying to account for our free will. Okay, why do we have free will? That's what it is. It was given to us as a trust, because we chose to come into this dimension. And with free will, entails morality, because it entails choice. With choice comes consequences. And that's why in philosophy, everything that you choose, even if it's just a simple position like atheism, agnosticism, polytheism, monotheism, these positions entail a world view, and they entail a consequence. Okay, so if someone is saying no, atheism doesn't entail anything, and I'm just an atheist because I'm an atheist, and then I can be a naturalist, and I can be a humanist, I can believe in liberalism, I can believe in be a leftist. This is not philosophy. This is misosophy. This is you're operating based on psychology, because things don't add up. Things don't make sense. You cannot justify anything. And when I talk to a lot of people these days and tell them to justify something philosophically, most people in society do not know how to. They don't even know what a justification is. They might give you an explanation, but the explanation is not even a validation. Does not validate anything. It has no justification behind it. They're just trying to connect the dots with some irrelevant things. So obviously he was stuck, Yaqeen was stuck on this thing called when God talked to the mountain. Now obviously the speech of God is not like ours. If anyone delves into philosophy, language is something that is taught to humans. We operate based on language. Now, I don't want to delve too deep into that and digress, because even the topic is, I'm not fully equipped in it. But nonetheless, God's language is not like the language is created, the human language. So Arabic is a creation by the divine, okay, based on coherence, okay, and intellect and sophistication. This is given to us in Revelation, okay, the language. Just like Adam was taught everything, the Adamic language. So language is taught nonetheless. So when God spoke to the mountain, as an analogy, God spoke to the mountain in his own way. Because at the same time when God speaks to the angels, he speaks to the angels in his own way. When God moves an object, when something is moved, if you're familiar with occasionalism, everything is based on is caused by God, by the will of God at the end of the day. So if willingly or unwillingly, or wittingly or unwittingly, things will basically submit to God. Okay, and I know the term submission shakes up a lot of neo-atheists, especially ex-Muslims. They get shook up by it because they don't like the idea, they don't like the notion. They want to be free. They want to be gods. Let's be frank. That's what atheists. It's a psychological state with these people. They want to be gods. It's the ego. It's like the devil. It's like Satan. He wanted to be God, and that's why in the Bible, as an example, Satan is basically the God with a lowercase g, a small g, of this world. And if you really look at things and how they're constructed based on the hegemony's ways, you will understand that basically Satan is the one ruling on a social scale. On a social scale. That's what it means. There's a lot of people who have gone astray, and they don't understand anything. Back to the topic of Islamic panpsychism. When I say, for example, the reason panpsychism in general is not does not provide us with answers, if you just take panpsychism as a presupposition without validating it through a deity, a conscious being who's omniscient and omnipotent and omnibenevolent. On its own, it doesn't provide any coherence, because why would a panpsychistic reality, and when I ask these questions to a layman, he won't get it. Nonetheless, why would a panpsychistic reality grant us consciousness and that is basically above that of other entities or other animate or inanimate things in this reality? We're the only one basically trying to ascertain knowledge, trying to find truth, trying to find answers. Every single other animal or thing in reality is either situated or is trying to survive. You know what I mean? Like the animals, for example. It's a daily routine with the animals. They keep doing the same thing, the same behavior. But with humans, it's not usually the same routine unless if it's on a social scale. Like, for example, going to work, waking up in the morning. This is how the social construct is. But if you really want to say there shouldn't be any order, and we should apply our free will and thinking and do as we please, anarchism would be the fact of man. And I've discussed this plenty of times, when I make a comparison, because at the end of the day, it's all about comparison and coherence. And those who assume being an atheist leads to truth, no, it doesn't, unless you delve into epistemology and philosophy. Because if you want to just follow the neo-atheistic narrative and say atheism has nothing, it's just a position that we negate the proposition and that's it. No, you negate the proposition, comes with a consequence. And it becomes really difficult because most neo-atheists, most of them, they operate based on psychology, not philosophy. It becomes a headache, a clash of the ego. You're talking about something and he's in La La Land thinking about something else. The bottom line is this: if everything has a consciousness, why do we have a consciousness that basically allows us to ascertain knowledge and discern? Be people of discernment. We can actually have insight into the future, into the near future. Some of us have insight into the far future as well. But it takes a lot of wisdom to try to make sense of it, to connect the dots. These metaphysical aspects are of the sublime. I mean, if to just try to basically have insight through asceticism and mysticism and all these things and still assume atheism, what's the point? That's really shallow. That's misosophy. And I keep saying the same words because you have to. You know what I mean? You have to basically say how it is. It's an antipathy towards wisdom. The bottom line is this: when Allah spoke to the mountain, Allah spoke to the mountain in the sense that the mountain is conscious of God. The rock is conscious of God. Animals are conscious of God. Everything is conscious of the one that created it. Okay, the earth is conscious. Okay, just like our own physicality is also conscious of what we do and will testify. I mean, this is as coherent as it gets. If you want to say no, then okay, then how do you explain consciousness? How do you explain all these things that we have? How do you explain provide a worldview that champions Islam? That's my challenge to all the atheists. Provide me with a worldview that champions Islam. Stop imitating the hegemony. Stop imitating the hegemony. Y'all have an inferior complex. Looking up to the white man, looking up to the United States, looking up to secular liberalism. And when I ask them about their worldview, they don't even know how to respond. They shoot themselves in the foot. How can you claim agnosticism and then say, I believe in Islam? This shows that you're philosophically... I mean, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but in general, if anyone talks like this, it shows that they're philosophically naive. I was going to say a different word, but I don't want to be disrespectful. It shows that they're philosophically naive. If you stay as an atheist all your life, you will never ascertain knowledge. Especially if you assume physicalism. You're not working based on wisdom. You're working based on some nonsense. Okay? And that's all I have to say. This is all I got. And hopefully this video makes sense to the people watching it. If they don't, then that's the best way I can explain things. I don't know how else I can explain it. I don't know any other way, to be honest with you. Peace out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.